Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Frontline, powered by Telemedia. I am your host, Austyn Ochu, and today we'll be treating a very important topic that has to do with every Nigerian at home and abroad. Today we'll be talking about Nigeria's democracy in the Fourth Republic. And today, I have a very important guest, one that I respect very much. He's a seasoned engineer, a public affairs analyst, and also a youth advocate. Sir, please can we meet you? Thank you.
My name is Ogundare Nifemi.
Okay. Mr. Ogundare Nifemi.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for honoring our invitation.
Pleasure.
And the topic, Nigeria's democracy in its Fourth Republic. What does that mean to you? How do we unpack that big topic?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ochu.
Yes.
When we talk about Fourth Republic, Nigerian democracy in Fourth Republic, what does that mean? What do we mean? It means telling us real existence from the military regime and coming together of leaders to rule Nigerians and to come up with a arm that having a structure and a arm of government in running this country forward. So what do we mean by Fourth Republic? It's just a way of restructuring the country to allow a civilian rule, so as to share the arms of government, the executives arms, the legislatives, and the judicial and so forth. So that is what Fourth Republic democracy is all about.
Okay, so I understand that the Fourth Republic from 1999 till now, that's about 26 years.
26 years ago, yes.
So, in these 26 years, how do you think that Nigeria has fared in this democracy?
Well, sincerely speaking, from my own point of view, at least I'm over 26 years.
Yes.
So, in other words, I've been in existence before the 1999, before the Fourth Republic started and all. I think they failed us. I'm not really seeing the difference. I'm not seeing any difference from the 1999 constitution and the military regime. What do you mean by Fourth Republic? We are talking about civilian rule, which is democracy.
Yes.
But I still cannot really, see the difference between the military rule and the civilian rule. Why? Because when we look at those people, who initiated all these laws and all during the military rules, are still the same set of people, that are still ruling us one way or the other. So they just came together, after like how many years they sat down together, because everybody's are non-military personnel.
Of another compensation.
Thank you very much.
Another compensation.
So
because I remember that Yar'Adua himself has mentioned that even the election that brought him into power was not really as credible as he would have liked. So the elections since that 1999 all the way, how have you seen it? How?
Sincerely, to current, at least I voted during, if I did not even vote during Obasanjo, I think I voted during Yar'Adua, and I voted Jonathan second time. So yeah, I voted. In fact, I'm always voting. So now I feel like we need to come back. We need to structure our electoral act. I feel another thing. I think we need to restructure the constitution. They are always correcting, updating the constitution, but this thing doesn't work for all Nigerians. Somebody they asked me many years ago, who is a Nigerian? I told them Nigeria is a group of people ruling this country, ruling people. You understand? Because you see some things that we as a street person and all cannot do. If you do those things, you are going to prison. You are going straight to jail. But some of these people will do it and go scot-free. So where is now so everything has been politicized. Our voting does not even count anymore. Why? Because everybody has, this thing has been politicized. And everybody puts in his own hand. How do I mean? The people you can trust.
Okay. So you were mentioning that we're talking on the voting process not being as credible as we would have liked it to be. So, for example, we've heard time and time again after the time of Jonathan, they talked about the PVC.
Okay.
It was a development. Then after that, we still talked about the electronic. That's the PVC, the electronic voting process, and then we talked about the BVAS recently, and then the electronic movement of votes.
This thing does not really this thing doesn't really count. I remember during during Jonathan's regime, the second during Jonathan government.
Yes.
I have a brother in politics that is not in PDP or APC then. Do you understand? And while I was one of the election officers, INEC officials,
Yes.
we discovered that some of this party I wouldn't mention. We got into an apartment where they were voting by themselves.
Like that.
And you know, at the end of the day, you start thinking, okay, do we not have, we don't know numbers of people that were accredited.
We have some
we don't know numbers of things that were this. You know, you start asking ourselves.
There are cases where the number of
registered
voters
a lot of analysts
than...
have came up to even discuss, talk about all these things.
Yes.
But why are we not seeing improvement? Why is there no change? Because we all are putting our personal right hand man there. You know, in Nigeria we like to use people. You take for instance the executive power, this fourth republic that we are talking about, where we have to share the executive powers, the legislatives, and all. Presidency. Are you aware, or do you know that when a new president comes in, they change all the chief of staffs? Why? For me, I feel just two major reasons. Number one, a loyalist. That was why I said this thing has been politicized. Everybody wants a loyalist in a particular office.
Yes.
So imagine you having a loyalist, somebody that you helped one way or the other, that cannot call you out for your shit. Now you bringing that person to office. Do you think that person will be able to do his job rightly?
Like putting in the what's it called? The INEC chairman being nominated by
thank you very much. Take for instance INEC chairman.
Yes.
I'm the president of this Federal Republic of Nigeria, and I now appoint you as the INEC chairman.
Yes.
And I will give you I'm your boss. Automatically I'm your boss.
Yes.
Number two, I helped you to that extent. You now tell me, I will give you an instruction, and you tell me you want to do your own. My dear brother, you are gone.
But we have seen it happen during the time of Jonathan, where Atahiru Jega was nominated by him, and then he was the one that resulted. It was his election that resulted in the unseating.
Thank you very much. That was why I said it has been politicized. What they said, politics is for and there is no permanent frame in politics. That statement, I don't know. I can't say it is wrong or right. But there is no permanent frame. That is a structure that has given us this platform, this opportunity to be cunning, to not be straightforward. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? They already gave us a structure that will make us not to be cunning. So there's no permanent frame. So some of these people came together. Let's.
So they've been recycling.
So it has been going on and on within themselves.
Yes.
Our current president has been in the system even during the military.
Even I believe that even during the June 12th that we celebrated recently,
he was still an active participant.
Yes.
So I think what the major thing they did was just to politicize everything. Because when we look at it from the perspective of this current democracy we are practicing,
yes,
we notice that even the democracy we have a lot of challenges. We have a lot of challenges. Okay. When we look at the issues of these parties, this democracy have been politicized. How do I mean? For instance, our electoral laws and all.
Yes.
If you are the president of this country, you discover that every parastatals you will be the one to put in the head of state and all. So how do we go? Where do we start? We've not even started.
Okay, hold that thought. So first of all, you know, one of the major things about democracy is the elections.
Okay.
So how do you think that we have fared from 1999, the election that brought in General Olusegun Obasanjo, till the election that brought in the current president Ahmed Bola Tinubu?
Okay.
So how do you think that we have fared in these elections so far?
I think thank you very much for this question.
Yes.
When we talk about the first president, the first civilian president since 1999,
yes,
so that the retired General Olusegun Obasanjo happens to be the former head of state. He was the former head of state.
Before Abdusalam.
Before
him again.
At least he was the former head of state.
Yes.
Now, so him coming again to rule us as a civilian, that is even enough for us to even see that these things are just, offering and, recycling.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Now, to him being the president, the first democracy president that we have, I think it's just by sympathy. It's just by sympathy due to some of the, some of the, what's it called, that he put into
in place. The
some of the
structures.
not even structure. I don't want to use structure. When I use structure, that means some of the what do I call it? Well, some of the fingerprints, let me put that way, that he put during his reign as the former head of state and the race within all this tribalistic race and all. So I think the Northerners and the Yorubas saw like an unjust and unfair act towards Obasanjo. So, and that was why they felt like, oh, let everyone go and sit. Let's just compensate this man. I think aside from Olusegun Obasanjo, the rest were politicized. That I won't say it is just by election. Okay. I think it is by election, but a collective election, a collective ideologies and from every parties.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So now compared to after Olusegun Obasanjo, we had Yar'Adua.
Yes.
These are people that have the interest of the people. These are people that have the interest of the people. Yar'Adua was never a military person. It was I think the elder brother that happens to be one of a military person. Yes, because Yar'Adua was not a military person.
Yes.
Do you understand? I think so for me.
More...
you can side me. You can be on my side today. Tomorrow, if somebody bring a better offer, you switch.
Okay, that brings me to my next question.
Okay, sir.
The role of godfatherism. How has it affected the democracy of the Fourth Republic?
Thank you very much. You see, the role of fatherism is one of the things that is actually killing one of the ills that we have in today's government. You see, we have a lot of people that are businessmen and women that are doing very well through today's government. Who are the people sponsoring all these people? Who are the people? We have a lot of billionaires, a lot of rich people here, that are not into politics.
Yes.
They are wealthy than the president himself. How do these people carry out their businesses without the government involved? As a president, you want to compromise with everyone. We don't even have a say about. We want to compromise.
Especially if this person has added some kind of donation.
Take for instance, the person in charge of generator. Imagine, how would you want the power supply to be good? How your business will come down. So I feel like they've sold all of us.
So this is all politicized.
So it has been politicized. How are they going to eradicate generators?
So weaponized what's it called? Incompetence.
Exactly. So it is absurd, honestly speaking.
It's unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate that these things keeps going on and on and on and on.
Okay.
So I feel like one of the and all these things, let me say it begins from the home. If we are still struggling since 1960 till date, though they say home is not beating it, but then
this is over 60 years.
60 years, a 60 years child, a 60 years man or woman is not a child
at all. So okay, now talking about a 60-year-old is not a child anymore. What do you say? What's the involvement of the youths in politics today?
Before we go, Mr. Ochu, before we go to the youth involvement in politics,
yeah.
I would like us to, buttress more on godfatherism.
Yes.
You discover that because of this godfatherism of a thing, is still as a result of our incompetence and greed. We do not love each other enough. We do not love, because look at a lot of people out there on the street.
I believe some will say that some places they still do not have that love, but there's a structure. If there's a structure and people follow that structure, it will be hard to have this issue of godfather.
Yes, if there's a structure and people follow that structure, like you said. But who are the people creating that structure? The same set of people creating that structure are still the same set of people going against those structures that they created.
And there's no consequences.
Look, let me tell you something. Since 1990, this first Republican that we are talking about, do you know how many times they have adjusted the constitution? That is to say, quote and unquote, anyways, that if any of these lawmakers, do some things that is that is wrong or that is against the constitution of Nigeria, they can amend the constitution to suit it.
I don't think there have been a lot of amending of the constitution, but I feel like there's more of ignoring whatever is there actually, because today I still the whole issue of constitution and how it affects the north and the south is still in question today, and a lot of people have been calling for a reconstitution of the constitution.
My dear brother, well, the constitution, who are those people that will create the constitution? Charity begins at home, they say.
Yes.
Our minds, our hearts is corrupt. You see, we need, I think, and for the electoral process also, I think we need an external hand. That is not, maybe we need like external officials outside Nigeria to come and oversee some of these things, because naturally our heart is black. Naturally,
I understand.
Naturally our heart is black, because even when you give birth to a child, you might not even need to necessarily teach the child how to lie. Who took that thing? I don't know. Was it the parent that taught the child how to lie? No. So it is inbuilt. Some of the challenges we are having in this country that we are is corruption of it. It starts from the home. It's inbuilt. So now you ask about youth involvement in politics. See, you cannot give what you don't have. It is what you grew up with, you continue with. That is why we need to nurture ourselves from home. This requires individuals. Beginning from your house, from your home, teach your child. Because who are the government? Or who is government? People. Who forms people? You and I. Where do we come from? From our different homes. You are Ochu, me, I'm Ogundare. What was my background like? How is it like? Don't forget we have environmental factors. We have home factor. If you teach a child, the environment will still help you teach the child. But sometimes, your own teaching, train up a child in the way you should go, will oversee some things outside. Tell you, no, my mom said that shall not, you should not steal. Why? Because if you steal, they will kill you or they will cut your hand.
Okay. So even at that, how do you think that the government of today, especially today we have one of the oldest presidents that Nigeria has had in a while. So how do you think this government has carried the youth along? It's been 2 years, so
yes. Honestly speaking, the current government, I will recommend them. You know why? You cannot build a house in a day.
True.
There's no matter how wealthy you are, you cannot build a house in a day. And looking at everything that has been happening since 1960. Okay, let's even start since 1993. You understand? Up to now, you cannot just expect somebody to come in and just even Jesus Christ that we are expecting as Christians, he has still not come. Do you understand? So for me, I think we just need to be truthful to ourselves. It is not easy to govern. It is not easy to govern. Even in an organization, it's not easy. Talk more of governing a whole lot of people. Population of over 200 million.
Yes.
It is somewhere. So then, that is why the president has other arms of government. The Senate, president, the speakers, the minister for this, minister for that. We need to hold all those people accountable. I don't know if the president is scared. I don't know. Like you said, for that reason. Yeah. Maybe some of these people are one of the people that is actually helping the president underneath in his underneath business and all. Because we have a lot of brilliant people in this country. We have a lot of brilliant, talented, young and old people in this country. So these people, they need to hold them responsible. They need to hold the minister for whatsoever. That is why you are a minister. If you are not delivering, then you as the head, your head is shaking. The body will shake. So I think we need to flush it. We need to flush ourselves. And how do we do all these things? How do we go about all these things? I don't know. I don't want to say God will help us. And I don't want to say the other way around. But if you ask me, I will tell us not just to restructure, because we have been restructuring. A lot of people came together and they said maybe we should try revolution. Tell me what is the difference between military rule and this current government?
So there has been no progress. There has been really no backwardness. You have just been stagnant.
During military regime, fella has said a lot of things. Nigeria has money, oil money, all those kind of things. Fella has said a lot of things. Was it during civilian rule? No. It was during military rule. And we are still facing the same thing as of today. Some of these people they were supposed to account for those things that happened in 1992, 1993 and all, came to us face to face and lie against some of us, and lie against the masses, lie against Nigerians. Perhaps they were people who are on earth. We don't know people in the military. Currently, whatever that is going on currently in the military, we have younger officers, we have soldiers now. Is it that they don't know? They know, but they cannot talk. Because why? Because the military system has a structure, which is force. That's why it is force. There is no freedom of speech as at then. Now, there is no freedom of speech as at then military rule. Now, take for instance, this civilian rule. Yes. Can me, for instance, the special advisor to the president on national matters, now listen to the masses cry, and now go and meet my boss? Sir, your excellency, sir, you are not doing well at all.
But that is the job.
That is it. Oh, that is the job. So where is now the freedom of speech we are talking about? Sir, the people are really suffering. Yeah, they say you are not doing. Is it the president that will go and fix road? I'm an engineer. No, I don't even want us to go there. Is it the president that will go and fix road? No. So we have to hold ourselves accountable for some certain things. The structure, the First Republic, it is messed up. It is full of greediness, corruption, and all sorts of atrocities. All sorts of atrocities, I repeat. So for how long do we want to? So tell me, okay, freedom of speech. If you say something against the government, they might come for you. So where is that the freedom of speech? So are we not still, so tell me the difference between military regime and now.
Okay, talking about military regime and now, there has been a controversy about the state of emergency that was declared in Rivers State. And I think the citation of it was the breakdown of security as at the time that it was declared in Rivers State. And today we see a lot of insecurity in the northeast part of Nigeria. We have insecurity in Plateau State and then insecurity also in Benue State. These are already known APC states, and there has been no state of emergency, whether security or otherwise, that has been declared there. And then today in Rivers State we have a democratically elected governor that has been unseated and a military or former military personnel that has been put there. What does that say to the democracy of today?
Thank you very much. That was why I said from the onset that this whole restructuring have been politicized. This First Republic have been politicized. You said APC states. That is politics. A state should be a state. If you are saying APC state, I don't know other parties in that same state, but because the government there is an APC, so PDP, SDP, Labour Party, Accord Party will not work together to develop the state. Why? Because the governor of that state is an APC member, so it has been politicized. So now, looking at a lot of lawyers just know that there is actually a law in the constitution that can actually, that the presidency can veto power on the executive. You know, a governor is an executive position.
Yes.
And they said the presidency can overrule it.
But you know,
now,
it has not said to remove.
Now, not said to remove.
Yes.
Not said to remove. To unseat. What do we mean by unseat? There are some things I would not like to talk about much here. There are some things I would not want to talk about. But then, now let's take for instance, the killings and all from the northeast doesn't start from this current government. It started from Jonathan's government. And let me tell you, it doesn't take the government of today or of then to eradicate all these insurgencies. It doesn't take the government 2 weeks to eradicate all these insurgencies.
So what do you think is the problem?
The people. Who are the people? The government.
So we're starting.
You cannot be powerful than the government. Witches and wizards, we see you move. Especially on that. For instance, if you are on this military camel, witches and wizards will see you and move, go their ways. Everybody will split, go on their own ways. That's for you to know how powerful the government is. So the government can use EFCC to fight against all this corruption, all these Yahoo boys and all these people stealing our money. They cannot use the military to fight against all these people. Is it not? Tell me, is there no, you know, there is something fishy somewhere, and all this thing begins from the home. We need to nurture our hearts in such a way that we don't hurt other people until we have that consciousness not to hurt any other people. I think that is when Nigeria will get better. So this insurgency of the thing will not. As a matter of fact, at some point they said it was some people from Niger that came to this one, that one. Do you know that this insurgency, this Boko Haram of the thing, do you know they actually invaded the barrack in Maiduguri? They invaded the barrack, a military base in Maiduguri. Not one, not two, not three. How? If accepted, some of those places are deserted places where Nigerians also are staying. But there are ways you should differentiate between Paul and Barnabas. There are ways to all these things. All these leaders that we have in this country, they are so intelligent. They are so intelligent. Don't think that they are so intelligent, but they are not doing the right thing because of their pockets, because of the greediness, because of this politics of it. I am APC member. So because PDP won the election, PDP is the governor of Abia State. No, me, I won't support him. That is all this. I won't support him. Is just for cameras. These people they meet. They are friends. They talk after election.
So if for voters out there that keep fighting.
So people just keep fighting. I don't blame some youth that said they don't want to vote anymore. You know why they call people less privileged? Because they cannot do anything. That is why you and I have to use all this medium, all this platform, to pass a message across. That is why you can invite me here to come and pass a message. Say my own view. My own view could be different from other person's view. But what I have seen so far, over 30 years of my existence in Nigeria, is what I'm talking about. So if there's any other this thing, it probably is fair to some people, it's not fair to some people. So, Mr. Ochu, yes. It is absurd, it's very unfortunate. And all these things begins from the house. Train up yourself, train your child. So that the children of these same people, they are training them well. The children of these same people will come and rule us again.
So, Engineer Nifemi, please, you give us your final thoughts on this whole matter and then call it.
My final thought. Do I have a say?
I believe every Nigerian has. So Nigeria's democracy and everything for the Fourth Republic.
So okay, my final thought. Number one is to encourage the youth not to give up. Encourage the youth not to give up. Not to give up on their struggle for the betterment, for the growth of this country, and not to give up on themselves. Because psychologically, from everything psychologically we build our minds. The way this Nigeria is structured, the children of any of these people will come there and rule us again and still do the same thing or do it worse. Do you understand? So I feel like we really need to have this consciousness. We really need to restructure ourselves. We are the futures of this country. So we need to come out. We need to start asking questions. If they want to jail all of us, let them jail all of us. But who wants to go on the street first? Even your parents, you are nice parents that actually contributed to the corruption and all of this country, of the ills and concept of this country. You are nice parents still be the one to call us inside. Come. I know say you look sit down there.
I don't have two of you at
home. See, you are the only person you are the only one I'm looking up to. So if every parent is like that, how do we move? So we have to have a heart of our own. We have to have a heart of our own. Look at where is the zeal? Where is the zeal for what happened end SARS, end this in 2020? Where is the zeal? Because nobody wants to die. They've killed a lot of people. They've killed a lot of youth. Either they kill you or they buy you. So we need to stand out. That, they said there is no one that doesn't have a price. So they say. So definitely it cannot be better. So we need to build ourselves. We need to build that consciousness to do things right. We need to follow ethics. Good ethics. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Nifemi Ogundari.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ochu.
Thank you for coming to our studio. And for our audience, I want to say Happy Democracy Day. And in the spirit of democracy, we want you to understand that your voice is the way to the future. Your voice will be heard, and you should continue to strive for a better Nigeria. We at Itele Media want to continue to congratulate all Nigerians on democracy, and hopefully we'll be getting it right moving forward.
By God's grace.
By God's grace. Thank you very much for staying with us on this episode. We hope that we'll see you for the next episode. Make sure you like, comment, and share on our social media platforms. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye.